Hey there guys, what's up? It's JP here and I'm back with another Shadowverse video. This time I'll be doing the next part of my card review. So they just officially released another set on the official website here. I realized in the previous video I forgot to put the link, so I'm just going to copy paste this right now. Put it into this video here. Let me click back, sorry. Alright, so one of my viewers on my stream actually pointed out that there was a Reddit, subreddit or whatever you call it, post here on the Shadowverse official Reddit. So I'm going to put this for you guys as well. It does have a disclaimer that most of these translations are unofficial, which you know how I feel about that. I would rather not go ahead and use these because these are not the official ones, and they're probably even if they were accurately translated, it's probably still subject to change and stuff like that before the release. So I'm not going to use this, but I will put a link and I will do a review based off of this as well. But yeah, we're going to get back to the official release here. I'm going to start off with the Elf Girl Liza. Fanfare. All allied followers can be damaged by spells and effects until the start of your next turn. So this is a really powerful ability. Definitely a take 2 must pick, I think, depending on what it comes up against. But this is a really powerful card, and in take 2, two play points for 2/2 is good enough. In fact, it's probably as good of the stats as you're going to get on that kind of play points. And its ability is just ridiculously strong, right? The only thing about this that makes me like, I'm not gonna put this as like a S class card where it's like, oh, auto include in every deck. That's because, like, you have to understand that this assumes that you have big board state, which is not difficult to do as Forestcraft. Only problem is you're gonna have a whole bunch of really small creatures, most likely, if you're gonna pull this wacky combo off. And the question is whether this ability on small creatures is good enough. I honestly don't think so, but it's still a bit early to tell. Maybe something will come out and there'll be more like mid-rangey creatures for you to play this on. But as of right now, I think it's just an A grade card. Alright, so let's move on here. We have you, the Ancient, Silver, 4 play points for 3/4. Evolve ability. At the end of the turn, do 1 damage to a random enemy follower 2 times. So this is a really powerful card actually. It fits into the rarity, like the one of those broken 4-drops where it's like has ridiculous abilities. This one, like, it's really hard to tell if this is the most powerful ability. It has, like, among all the 4-drops so far, I believe this is the only one with like an ongoing ability, which is really good. Especially for those that only gain +1/+1 stats, right? This is really arguably the most powerful ability. The only question is, does this trade well with Floral Fencer? I want to say yes, but at the same time, Floral Fencer is like multiple bodies, so it can be hard for this to trade evenly with Floral Fencer. Best case scenario is that you play a card and it trades evenly on the 4-drop, but realistically speaking, it's not going to. But yeah, other than that, I think this card is a really good card. Definitely a good card in take 2 as well. So I'm going to give this A grade as well. The only reason I'm not giving S is just because PTP is still currently the most powerful Forestcraft deck, and this doesn't actually fit in there. But it's probably good enough that it's like the type of deck that they're trying to push. This is probably a auto include in that deck, as opposed to the Fairy Princess that spawns. I learned my lesson the last time. Let's just look. The Fairy Princess card, right? That spawns two other. Let's look for it here. Forestcraft, 4-drop. The Elven Princess Mage. So yeah, it's definitely better card than that. So it might be better. I don't know. And PTP, this is not better, but in the medium heavy, like mid-rangey style that I was talking about, this is probably much better. Right, next we have the Elf Bard, 2 for 2/2 once again. Kind of promoting that more mid-rangey minion based style that I was talking about. Yeah, unevolve and evolve looks like it's the same ability. Whenever another follower evolves, put a fairy into your hand. Now, the evolve mechanic is something that I think, based on the previous card reviews and like some spoilers I've seen, is something that they're really trying to push. Whether evolve fairy is going to be a thing, it's hard to tell just because we don't know how powerful all these cards are going to be once the whole set is released and then you mix it up with what's currently in play and if they're going to cycle things out. So in a vacuum, this is definitely good enough to play in like Take 2. It's one of the better cards you can take for 2 drops regarding for the Forest Craft. So this will probably make it much more viable in Take 2. And its ability is really powerful as well, like able to spawn minions when others evolve. The only question is where even if you can get only get 2 minions out of this, it's still good enough. So really powerful card. I really like it. Probably see it in that other style of deck, right? Alright, next we have Alexander, the legendary Swordcraft. So it is commander. 8 cost 6/7, evolves into an 8/9, so it is +2/+2. Rush. Now Rush is a new mechanic that they introduced here, according to the Reddit post, which I believe this translation is fairly accurate here. It says here, let me just make it bigger here. Followers with Rush may attack enemy followers that come into play here. So basically this guy that storms minions, right? It's that kind of ability that you get from evolving. So you can attack an unlimited number of times per turn, can't attack the enemy leader. So basically this is like a huge catch-up mechanic. Now this is something that I brought up in the previous video as well for Swordcraft, where it's like they seem to be trying to address the problem where in the mirror matchup you fall behind and you never ever catch up. But this kind of does help with that. Even if they're like Auto Hime, this is wiping Auto Hime. You know what I mean? And it's even surviving if you 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if you don't evolve it, it trades evenly for Auto Hime. If you do evolve it, it trades favorably. So that tells you a lot about the power of this card. It's similar stats to Lucifer by the looks of it, except when it evolves, it does the reverse, I think, of Lucifer. No, I believe Lucifer actually has 1 less health. I'm not really sure. Can't remember here. Let me just look it up. If it's actually the reverse of Lucifer here. For whatever reason, I just clicked back here. It's like an auto respawn. Legendary 8+. Yeah, so it is basically the opposite of Lucifer. Yeah, actually really powerful card here. Really like it. I think this will see play in. It's actually, I think, big enough and powerful enough that you'll probably see at least 1 copy run off in every deck. But it goes against what Swordcraft has traditionally tried to do, which is just swarm the board. But I think it's a good choice to tack in just 1 of this against the mirror matchup. In Take 2, this is probably a top pick as well. So probably S class card right there. Alright, now we have the Advanced Blader. Apologies, I knocked into the table there. 5 for 3, 4, so a bit understated. Fanfare, 2 random officer cards from your deck to your hand. Wow, this is a really powerful card. Like, this will probably see play in every single Swordcraft deck. I could be wrong, but I actually do think that you would put this in every single. That's because traditionally Swordcraft has always just lost because they don't have a card draw mechanic. So once you start to wear them out, once they deplete your hands, you win 100% of the time against them, right? The only combat mechanic it used to have is Auto Hime, and this kind of resolves that problem. So it's probably good enough to see play as at least a 1-off or 2-off in every deck. whether it be mid-range or aggressive decks. It's probably even stronger in aggressive decks because you dump your hand a lot faster. So yeah, really powerful card. You probably take this in take 2 as well as a top pick. So yeah, probably an S class card right here. Really powerful, really like it. Alright, now we have Summon Ice Form, Runecraft, 3-cost spell, summon an Ice Golem. Ice Golem is a 3 for 5, so super big body here, ward kind of tech. That's actually pretty bad. At the end of your opponent's turn, this follower is destroyed. Wow, this is actually a really, really bad card. And like, I'm not sure if this will actually ever see play. I don't believe the actual card itself is a sigil as well, so I don't see why anybody would play this card. That definitely play that in my opinion. So probably just maybe there's some wacky combo in there somewhere that lets you OTK your opponent that I'm not seeing, but just looking at this as it is, I think it's really bad. I guess the only purpose for this card is just to stop Swami aggro decks. But even then, I think it's good. Alright, now we have the Crystal Bombarder. Whenever 4 cost 3/4, so that's you also do a 5/6 though, so this is actually premium stats for a 4-drop. Whenever another follow evolve, spell boost cards in your hand, same for the other one. So again, like I said, this is a mechanic that they seem to be trying to push, the evolve mechanic, and I really like it here. It's like a pseudo, it's like a budget Merlin. It's nowhere near as powerful as Merlin, because Merlin cycles your deck as well. But this is probably a top tier pick, even if you don't use the ability. The body alone is just really big. Really powerful card, probably like at least an A grade. In 2 is probably a top pick. Right now we have the first ever amulet, legendary amulet here. It's a 3-cost amulet, Dragon Song Flute, also known as Flute or Summoning Dragon for you Yu-Gi-Oh fans. Fanfare transforms each card in your hand that costs 3 or less into a Hell Flame Dragon if Overflow is active for you. Whenever you draw a card that costs 3 or less, transform it into a Hell Flame Dragon if Overflow is active for you. So let's see what a Flame Health. This is a Hell Flame Dragon. It's a 2-cost 4/3 with Rush. Evolves to us. Holy crap, this card is insane. Now here's the thing, right? When I first looked at this card, it reminded me a lot of the other amulet that they had, right? It's a golden amulet. Doesn't cost 8+. No, like, well, it doesn't really matter here. Yeah, the Weave Inspire, right? That transforms every card you draw. Or rather, at the end, it transforms one of the field to basically into a 5/5. This one's just so much more powerful though, just because you can play this a lot earlier. Or rather, you can, like, the dragons do more because this guy's got rush at the very least, so it's like going to hit something with 4 damage, which is pretty, really strong. I like it. I think this. Here's the thing, right? The question isn't whether it's strong in constructed, because it clearly is very strong. The question is whether it's strong enough, and I don't think it fits well enough into a, like, what is currently being played, right? It is true that at one point in the meta, mid-range was running the Weave Inspire, but and once in a while I do put it in just for lols, but that card's probably never seen played. But this one is so much more powerful here, which makes you wonder if is it good enough. Honestly, I can't grade it just looking at it like this. My initial impression is that it's just really strong, so probably yes, but I will not say it's a top tier card just yet. My best guess is A grade for this card. If you're talking about take 2, on the other hand, this card could be insanely powerful just because it's such a tempo driven game. and you get a lot of like you tend to get more often than not your draft pick is gonna have like a goblin or minotaur in there somewhere. So this kind of solves that problem. The only like major issue here is that over any of the other legendaries currently in Dragoncraft. Right, where's the Dragoncraft? There we go. Like these three are just like top tier picks in Take Two anyways, so there's no reason to fit this in. So yeah, really open on that one. Next we have Dracomancer's Right. 3 costs, I'm guessing it's an amulet. Whenever you discard a card from your hand, draw a card. That's a really interesting mechanic here. There are a couple of cards that do that, that do discard in Dragoncraft. Mainly, why do I keep clicking back? I apologize for this, guys. But yeah, Dragoncraft does have a few cards that, as you would cycle, discard. One of it is like the Dragon Youth Scholar. We have the what's it called? Golden Dragon. I think there's one more. I could be wrong though. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, it's Shenlock. I might have missed one more, but I believe yeah, it's Shenlock. Well, this with those cards, making me think that this is probably a really good pick for a youth archetype where it's like cycling. Maybe you put this in like a Satan Dragoncraft deck, in which this card would just be ridiculously strong in my opinion. Having said that though, whether that becomes a thing or not remains to be seen. In Take Two, this is probably not good enough. So we already seen Neptune in the other video here. Let's move on. Next we have the Polyphomic Roar, also known as Yu-Gi-Oh! 5-Headed Dragon, but this is like way more heads. At the start of it, summon the Windblast Dragon. The Windblast Dragon, I believe, is the same as the Dragon Mage. So I do apologize, I have to take a sip here. Now I could pause the video and be professional. Don't on me. This one, right? Mm-hmm. So the Windblast is the 5/5. So this basically summons that unlimitedly at 9 costs. So this is actually a really powerful card here. The only one here is that if you're looking at this gold cards for Dragoncraft, there are some really powerful ones like Genesis Dragon and Take Two is insane. Wyvern Cavalier is like all of these are actually constructed viable cards. That if you get in Take Two, you're pretty happy. So, is this better than any of those? Maybe like just the Dragon Youth and the Death Mist, but even that's questionable. Wyvern Spire also questionable. It might just be slightly better than Hydra, but again that's questionable. So this is a really good card. The only problem is it's competing with a lot of other very good cards. But I really like it. I think it's it's probably an S grade. Alright, now we're moving on to Shadowcraft. We have the 3-cost spell here. Oh, it's not a spell, it's an amulet. Countdown 2, fanfare gain 13 shadows. Holy crap. Last was change the number of shadows to 0. Wow, this card is pretty nuts, right? What's the cost for the Tyrant? Every time I see like such a, oh god, why do I keep, once again, I do apologize, I keep clicking back here. But this looks like a Tyrant enabler for some reason. Like, I believe it's 20 for the trigger. Yeah, it's 20. So you need 9. Somehow this feels like it's pretty viable against to create that kind of Tyrant deck. So this looks like an OTK style. Of course, you can like couple it with cards like the Phantom Howl and the legendary whatever it's called. The Lord Atomy, Lord Atomy. Atomy, whatever it's called, right? So there's some really cool combos you can pull this out. Whether a gimmicky deck like that is going to work remains to be seen. In Take 2, I think this is probably not acceptable. That's because you can't guarantee that you can draft cards that fit that require necromancy. And in terms of the gold slot, I believe that the cards here, Death Wrath, Mordecai, Foul Tempest, Phantom House, so it's competing with a lot. So I don't think this is a good pick in Take 2, but I will play around with it and I'll let you guys know on stream or in a video. But my initial impression is that this card is pretty meh in Take 2, so probably a B grade card. Next we have Spirit Cycle, 3 costs, looks like it's under Amulet, countdown 2. At the start of your turn, draw a card. Okay, that's really good. Whenever you use Necromancy, add 1 to this Amulet's countdown. Wow! So you could potentially just keep drawing cards, like 2 cards a turn, which is pretty sick, right? Worst case is 3 for 2 cards. It's actually a really good card. I think you pick this all the time in. Like, this is a really good constructed card. It's not good in Take 2 because Take 2 is just very tempo oriented. I do think this is better than the Midnight Haunt though. So if these two appears on opposite sides, it's a pretty obvious pick. Probably grade A card. Really like it. Moving on, we have Sharon or Charon, or however you want to pronounce it. 5/4/5 evolves into a 6/7. That's pretty big. Necromancy 6, summon a Lich. Wow, that's pretty nuts. This is 8. So if you pull off this combo at 28, you basically get 10, 11 worth of stats. That's pretty nuts, man. I don't know. This card seems really good. Even if you don't, it's probably just big enough. Like, this is an average stat line for this mana cost anyways, so I think it's a pretty good card in Take 2. Don't get me wrong, in Constructed, I don't think you ever see this card unless they really change the meta. So yeah, probably a grade A card. Moving on to Bloodcraft, we have Azazel. Fanfare, change both leaders' defense to 10 either by restoring defense or dealing damage. So this card, when I first saw this, I was like, man, this is alright. It's 8 for 7/7. That's pretty big, but it's not like earth-shattering, you know what I mean? And it was in the 9/9, which is wow, still not earth-shattering. However, the one thing that really got me is its fanfare ability, because I realized that if you played the Bloody Baron, and for whatever reason it sticks on the board and you play this the next turn, you could potentially just OTK your opponent from full health, right? You know what I mean? I mean, it's not going to happen at all, don't get me wrong, but like, these two cards synergize, like, the synergy between these two cards is insane. Like, potentially, like, OTK-ish insane. So, having said that though, it does put you into Vengeance, which is really nice. It also incentivizes you to play cards that you traditionally wouldn't see in the meta. Things like the legendary for, what's it called? Soul Dealer, which cuts it into half. So that's that's the thing as well. I really like this card. I think it's a top pick here. Historically, the only good gold cards I believe that are in here is Revelation or Righteous Divinity. Okay, so actually it's competing for quite a for a really stacked slot, right? Because all these cards are actually pretty insane, even Take 2. I said maybe for this one, the Demon, it's competing for a really tough slot here. I don't play too much Bloodcraft in Take 2, so I'm not really sure if this is going to be a better pick. It looks like it's going to be a top tier though. Really like this card. I'm going to go on a wild guess and give this an A grade. Next we have the Mini Soul Devil, 3 for 3/2, pretty much what you expect. Evolve or unevolve ability, which I'm sure is pretty much the same here. Whenever another follower evolves, deal 1 damage to the enemy leader and restore 1 health. So it's like a mini wardrobe raider thing, right? It's called wardrobe raider. Yeah, this one. Previously, this Axios card in this set, I believe. But yeah, like the synergies between the Minnesota delay and that one is pretty insane, right? It's basically deal 2 damage to a follower, deal 1 to or to basically to anything, right? I believe it says to an enemy, right? Oh, enemy follower. So it's deal 2 damage to an enemy follower, deal 1 to the hero, and restore 3 health, right? That's the synergy between these cards, which seems pretty nuts. Especially we play down on curve. Really powerful card, probably a top pick in both constructed and arena. I'm not sure if you actually, now I think about it, you probably wouldn't see this in constructed just because Dire Bond is a thing. But in Take 2, we definitely put this as a top tier card. Alright, next we have the card that's been like the subject of a lot of question marks. Like some people say it's really bad, some people say it's insane, some people just stand and watch. And it's this card, the Havencroft Legendary Amulet and Statuated Seraph. Now countdown 1, so it triggers the next turn, right? Summon and Awaken Seraph. And this is where the problem begins, right? Here is Awaken Seraph. As you can see, it follows up, right? So Awaken Seraph into Renaissance Seraph into Seraph Lapis Glory Be. Now, all this is countdown 1, and countdown 1, last word summons the next one, summons the next one. The only problem is once it hits here, it auto wins the game. This ability is something that it's basically like the equivalent to Exodia in a way, or Destiny board in Yu-Gi-Oh, where it's like you play a certain bunch of cards in a certain order and then you win the game, right? So this is a new mechanic for like probably the online card game world, especially in this new day, where this OTK style, like instant win condition, is introduced. So most people think, I'm pretty divided on this, right? I was joking about the whole like you just stand there and stare. Most people are either on the side that this is really broken or this is really bad. My honest take is that it's pretty good, right? And here's the reasoning. There is no way to kill this card except using the legendary that was brought up in the previous video, Odin, right? Or transformation, I believe, is the only other way. Right? I'm just going to do a really quick amulet. I totally misspelled that. Amulet. Yeah, that's right there. Amulets, okay. Why is nothing coming up there? Alright, so I'm just going to glance through this really quickly, right? Just to see if there's anything that either destroys it or... But this Nature's Guidance is a pretty nice solution to that, I think. No, you just delay it a turn, right? None of these fixes that problem. Does this do it? So it's only a delay tactic. Speeds up. Petrification is the one I was talking about that actually is another answer. This destroys it. I don't know, man. It's getting pretty terrifying here. So currently there's only one card that deals with it, and that's Petrified. With the introduction of Odin, it's going to be 2 cards. That means every time you face a Havencraft and you do not run one of these 2 cards, you lose every single time. Right? Because they're going to play a control game and play it slow. And every threat you do, like if you can't rush them fast enough, which based off the rest of the set looks like you can't do, they're going to win 100% of the time. Like this is the auto kill in this is probably the reason why Odin exists, right? In this set, not because of PTP, but because of this. If not, there will be absolutely no. Whoa, that was really loud. Sorry for that. But yeah, if not, there's absolutely no way to beat this card, which is pretty nuts. So I think this is by far the most powerful card in the game. This, don't get me wrong though, this is not a card that you pick and take to, because it's just, what the hell is wrong with this thing? It keeps introducing. Anyways, like I was saying, like this is the most insane card I've seen in a while in a card game, right? It's basically Exodia. So probably a top. You do expect to see this or some version of a amulet style OTK deck or Seraph theme deck, right, where it's all control, try to drag out the game and then kill you with this card. Don't be surprised if that deck pops up. In Take 2 though, you probably would never see this because this is like such a terrible and like legendary that it makes no sense to play this. Like, why would you ever take this in Take 2 where it's such a tempo driven game? Even though it's probably more powerful in Take 2 just because you can't deal with it, it's the odds of getting petrified or say maybe Odin itself, it's probably going to be pretty hard. So really powerful in Take 2, but just not good enough. Moving on, we have Forbidden Ritual, 3 cost silver, amulet as well. Countdown 1, last words, banish all enemy followed with 2 defense or less. So this is one of the cards that I was talking about that kind of makes the control Havencraft, like steers Havencraft into the control style much better. Like this card destroys control or rather aggressive decks, right? Because most of the cards in aggressive decks have like 2, maybe 3 health. So if it's 3 health, it's good enough, right? If it's 2 health, which in this stage of the game is probably going to have 2 health, it's not going to last. So this card is absolutely insane. You take this in Take 2 all the time. You take this in, you'll see this in most constructor decks, I believe. Insanely powerful card. S-class, without a doubt in my mind. But again, I leave this up for discussion. Just keep it civilized in the comments. Moving on, we have Sky Sprite. 3 for 2/3. Fanfare give all allied followers rush. Now, the only thing that prevents this from being broken is that it's in Havencraft, right? Because in any other deck, giving all your creatures rush is pretty nuts. Like if this was in Forestcraft, which it almost looks like it could be, right? You basically give all your little 1/1 dudes, little fairies rush, which is pretty insane. Like you can even trigger PTP faster that way, if that makes any sense. Like you don't always have to rely on Alter Fate. So in any other deck, I think this is ridiculously overpowered. But I think just because it's Havencraft, it's good and it's fine. It's just a fair card. Probably like this. The only reason that this might be powerful is just because the creatures that come out amulets are really strong, right? So this probably goes into like an amulet deck as opposed to like the traditional controller Havencraft. So yeah, probably great A card. Probably take this in Take 2 as well. Really powerful. Alright, now we're on to the neutrals for now. We have Humpty Dumpty. Neutral 4/3/3, really bad stats here. Evolve, deal 3 damage to all followers. Holy shit. I think this card's that's bad. I don't know. Like the thought of wiping your whole board together with your opponent, as long as like you can never do this as a tempo play, you know what I mean? It's more of like a desperation play, and it still gives initiative back to your opponent. So I still think this card is like pretty bad. I'm gonna give this like a C grade. Don't like it at all. Spellbook, decryption. Draw 3 cards, cost 6. Now I want to say this card is pretty bad as well, but card draw is something that people should never underestimate here. It's probably still a little overstated for 3 cards. I'm guessing something like a 5 cost is still reasonable. But I think it's well balanced. It's a good card design. It's a well designed card. It's just it's not good enough to see play in anything else. Like in any constructed deck, probably, except for maybe Runecraft, where cycling is just such a big deal. But the fact that you can't, like, they can get 0 mana, draw 2 cards, so or 0 play points, draw 2 cards. So I don't see why this would fit in that. But there are probably worse cards. I'm just gonna give this card like a C rank rating as well. Like the neutrals seem to be getting pretty cool grades from me. So yeah, that'll be the end for this video, guys. Do feel free to leave a comment and if your own opinions on what you think about the cards here. I'll be doing the Reddit thread video right after this, so that you guys can get the full like, or rather get a a better view, if you would, of the card sets. So I'll be back real soon, guys. This is JP signing out.